grew up in the coal mining country of West Virginia. One of 8 children, Ken was determined to do the best job he could at everything he did. That singular focus has led him to become Senior Vice President of Pulitzer Publishing Company and President of Pulitzer Broadcasting, with the responsibility of overseeing 7 television and 2 radio stations across the country. Initially trained as an engineer, Ken possesses a broad perspective, appreciated by board president Michael Pulitzer.
Ken has sat in about every chair in a television station, and that gives him a breadth of knowledge and experience that not many people have had. I remember him telling one story that he had been an engineer as part of his past, and he said, you've got to watch out for engineers, that they speak a different language, and if you aren't careful, they can put things over on you, but I've been there, so they can't put anything over on me.
Ken's technical skills were first put to the test in Bellevue, Nebraska, when Airman Elkins was stationed at Offutt Air Force Base.
Prior to KETV, I was a participant in building, at that point in time, the largest color television installation in the world in the war room, the SAC headquarters. There was 8 or 10 of us, and we had a huge system, closed circuit system, going to all the offices at headquarters SAC.
Still in the Air Force, Ken juggled jobs as a part-time cameraman at ABC affiliate KETV in Omaha and as a TV repairman. Fortunately, Ken still had time for life's little pleasures, like getting to know a girl he met while roller skating with friends.
Ken and I went back to the skating rink, and we had kind of a little accident at the rink, but it wasn't serious. The accident wasn't, but the romance was. And so we got married about 6 months later.
Ken left the Air Force, but stayed at KETV as a cameraman, master control operator, and later assistant chief engineer.
This is ABC Television Network.
KETV was a young station with a young network. This ABC closed circuit with a young Carol Burnett reminds us that television wasn't always sophisticated, but it was a lot of fun.
The ABC affiliate in Omaha is KETV, operating on 316 kilowatts, covering Council Bluffs, Lincoln, Nebraska City, Fremont, Plattsburgh, and there's some loose talk about it giving a bonus coverage to Broken Bow, Nebraska. A new station began operation September 17, 1957, in what is now a 3-station market. This is not a recorded message.
Television was live at that time, and a great deal more fun, and we could convince our bosses the day after that they didn't watch our station when we made mistakes.
Live productions made for strong memories, like the time a contestant on Queen for a Day decided her wish was to have that cute young cameraman, Ken Elkins, as her pet. Or the time Ken went face-to-face with a wrestler known as Dick the Bruiser.
At that point in time, we had a lens turret rather than the conventional zoom lenses of today, and one of them had what at that point in time we described as a sun shield, but it really was a bayonet. And I jammed one of those wrestlers at one time with his bayonet on this lens, and he chased me all around the studio.
Did he catch you?
No, he didn't catch me. He wasn't happy. I kept that camera between me and him for some period of time.
Ken also remembers that promoter Joe Dusick could always be counted on for an end to the frenzy.
When it came commercial time, he would tug his ear. And we all knew at that point in time the match would be over very shortly. And I don't think in all the years we did pro wrestling we ever ran over.
A decade after he began at KETV, Ken accepted the challenge of a lifetime, the construction of station KDUB in Dubuque, Iowa.
The transmitter was located in a cornfield in Wisconsin, and the directions on the bill of lading, I should have saved one, but I didn't, instructed drivers to turn left at the hog pen and right at the barn. We began broadcasting. As a matter of fact, we built this television station, including setting transmitters, 2 microwaves, full studio complex, in 90 days.
After serving as general manager at KDUV, Ken returned to KETV, working his way up through operations and sales to the general manager's chair, complete with cake to celebrate in 1975.
Ken has always wanted to do everything the best, to the very best way possible, and even better than that.
When the Pulitzers purchased KETV in 1976, the new owners considered Ken an immensely qualified manager who had developed a real team, including then local sales manager Dave McAtee.
The year 1968, the place Omaha, Nebraska. It's early in the game, and Ken Elkins gets his first taste of competitive management as coach of the Golden Hills DX Little League team. Jimmy Elkins, star fielder, is in the front row. Oh yeah, that's me behind the Foster Grants. Modest beginnings make good managers, and you, Ken, have scored numerous home runs in your broadcast career. Your favorable management style is known throughout our industry. Now it's the bottom of the seventh inning, and we're celebrating your induction into the Nebraska Broadcasters Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Ken.
Ken's teamwork and his friendships broadened. Harry Smart, Blair Television executive.
When I first met Ken Elkins at KETV, I immediately liked him. He was himself with no pretense, nothing phony about Ken Elkins. He was clearly honest, straightforward, and laid his thoughts right on the line. As my friendship for Ken deepened over the years, those qualities of honesty, integrity, and lofty principles have been an inspiration to me and to so many others in the broadcasting business.
In 1980, Ken headed south to St. Louis to steer the Pulitzer flagship station, KSDK, building the news, moving to a new facility, celebrating a World Series win, and finally facilitating the sale of KSDK. That's when Ken began his corporate career. The fit was a comfortable one.
I think one of the blessings a person in a position like this has is when your thoughts mirror the thoughts of the management.
The successful public companies, from a financial standpoint, are also the companies that operate their media properties in the public interest and pay attention to good journalism.
I think it's inevitable. If you do good journalism, you will do good business. If you convince the general public that you are serving in their interests, it's most likely that will convert to ratings, and in our business, ratings convert to money.
Today, Ken has assumed new roles of leadership in the broadcasting industry.
I was very pleased that there was a major article in Broadcasting Magazine recently about Ken, that this was very well-deserved recognition on the national level.
Bob Wright, president of the NBC television network.
In fact, Ken has earned quite a bit of reputation. His work with the National Association of Broadcasters on the First Amendment committee is an important one for broadcasters, and I would imagine for Pulitzer especially.
Ken's industry involvement extends from the Television Bureau's focus on advertising to MSTV's work on high-definition television and NBC's Futures Committee.
The Futures Committee is dealing with issues that will relate to advertising, to technology, to broad changes that may or may not have to be made in the broadcasting business in the 90s in order for us to prosper. Ken's contributions to that committee are ongoing, and they're appreciated.
His guidance and judgment is respected by his peers in the industry, and we as a company are very happy to have someone of Ken's caliber speaking for the company in national broadcasting circles.
Though Ken's circles of influence have widened, it is those basic qualities of integrity and likability that continue to earn him respect.
As Ken was acclaimed by the industry as one of the broadcasting superstars, he never changed. Ken Elkins, despite the acclaim, remained humble, honest, down-to-earth, and hard-working.
Though Ken is not a native Nebraskan, this state will always hold special memories. It is, after all, the place where he met his bride and raised his children, where he made lifelong friends, where his career was launched and took flight.
In the town called Omaha, Nebraska, where the best shows are A, where the best shows are B, where the best shows are A, B.
Tonight, we honor Ken Elkins for his distinguished contributions to the broadcasting industry and his personal commitment to excellence.